Morning to our friends who are watching from home, too. It's great to be with you. So this morning, we're going to talk about our gospel lesson. Now, in Sunday school, we learned that there are 4 gospels in the New Testament. Does anybody remember our gospel rhyme? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John help us follow Jesus all life long, right? Okay, now, today's reading is from the 3rd gospel. So let's say it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, right? So we're reading out of the book of Luke today. In our Gospels, we learn that Jesus is an amazing teacher. And wherever he goes, people come to listen to him to teach, right? Well, in our reading from Luke, we find Jesus in the synagogue, which is a place of worship, like our church, on the Sabbath day, okay? Now, in Jesus' time, on the Sabbath day, people came together to worship, and then they were to rest. There were actually laws about what you could do on the Sabbath. So the Jewish community followed those laws. Well, Jesus had other ideas about the Sabbath. So let's listen to our story, and let's hear about what Jesus does on the Sabbath. I need your help. Could you all stand up, please? Okay? All right, now, you bend over like this? Okay, now, all the way over. All the way over. Okay, good. Can you just stay like that, and I'll tell you when to come back up. You ready? You'll understand why in just a minute. All right, so here we go. Jesus was teaching in the synagogue on the Sabbath. A woman came in who had been bent over and unable to stand up straight for 18 years. That's a long time to be like that, right? Well, when Jesus saw her, he asked her to come to him. And he laid his hands over her, and he said, "You are free. Stand up straight." Stand up straight. Hey, stay right there, though, because that's not the end of the story. Immediately, the woman stood up straight and began praising God. But that is not the end. Because a leader of the synagogue was upset because Jesus healed the woman on the Sabbath. This leader was upset because Jesus broke the law and worked on the Sabbath, which was to be a day of worship and rest. Well, here's what Jesus said. "Listen, everyone. Sometimes people have to do work on the Sabbath. Animals need food and water. And sometimes people need to be healed and freed. The woman is one of God's children. This woman is one of God's children, part of Abraham's family. And the Sabbath day is the right day to heal her." And after he said this, the crowds cheered, "Yay!" and praised God. Okay, you may have a seat. Now, how did it feel to be bent over like that? Did it feel good? No. What do you see when you're bent over like that? The floor, right? And for 18 years, when that woman walked, she looked at the floor. But then, Jesus healed her. And she was able to stand up. What do you see when you stand up? Everything, right? Jesus freed her to see things in a new way. And that's what Jesus does for us. During the week, I listened to podcasts about our readings. And one of the things I liked this week, they gave different titles for this particular story, and they called it The Best Sabbath Ever. And I love that title, because when we come together on a Sunday to worship, I love our worship time together. But one of my favorite days of the year is God's Work Our Hands Sunday, where we come together to worship. This year we'll worship together at 8 and 10:30, and then in the afternoon we go out into our community and we do God's work with our hands. And I know you've helped. Some of you helped pick potatoes. Some of you have helped clean up parks. And that's all wonderful. We can do God's work with our hands every day, right? Next Sunday morning, we have 2 special things going on during worship. The first one is we invite you to bring in your backpacks and your devices for a special back-to-school blessing, okay? And those of you who are watching from home, you can have your backpacks and devices ready to go. The second thing we're going to do, we are inviting the entire congregation to donate a backpack. Out in the narthex, we will have school supplies. Before or after worship, we invite you to fill your backpack, bring that backpack into worship. We will bless those backpacks, and then they will be distributed to children in the Allentown School District. So next week, please come and join us for a very special back-to-school blessing. All right? Okay, would you all pray with me? Let's bow our heads. God of rest and quiet, remind us that taking time for Sabbath frees us and helps us grow. Thank you for giving us the Sabbath and for giving us ways to help one another. And together we say, Amen.